Hello, and welcome to this very special video because I'm going to be writing a sales page from start to finish, and you're going to see the whole process all the way through. That's exciting in and of itself, but also we're going to be selling a real product. This isn't just a spec piece. This isn't something that's just going to sit on a shelf. It's not just an example. This is going to be used to sell an actual product, and you're going to be able to see the results of it. I want to share with you all the things that go through my brain, how I think about writing copy from the ideation phase all the way through to line edits, and how we come up with a finished piece. We're going to be writing for an informational product. I'm going to show you how my method for writing a sales page, my approach, can be used for any niche. Copy is universal, and learning how to think about it in the right way is crucial. So we're going to be writing for a product from Copy That, because that's the channel and we need to make money. So it makes sense that we're going to write about a product from Copy That. We're going to be writing for a product that is a paid course from Copy That called the UGMS, which is the Ultimate Guide to Marketing Strategy. It is not for beginners, and it is not about copywriting. We are not aiming it at anyone who is young or new or can't afford it. This is not for you if you're a beginner copywriter. This is a product, as you'll come to see, which is all about how to learn good marketing strategy. I see loads of people in the chat already saying, oh, tell me what the RIOA is and start writing, and what's the headline complex going to be? Whoa. We're not even there yet. We need to first of all discuss the most important thing when it comes to writing copy, which is context. Please make sure you know what product you're writing for, and crucially, what that person already knows about the product or the business you're writing for. So, this that you're looking at on the screen right now is the Ultimate Guide to Marketing Strategy. I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I already know obviously what's in here, so we don't need to do the whole research process of me going through all the modules and figuring out what it is. Like, me and the guys at Copy That made this, so I already know what's in there. But crucially, you can see that it's a pretty standard layout for a course, okay? We've got different modules, we have different resources in here. I'm not gonna go through and explain what they all are right now. We'll do that as we write the page. But this is what we're trying to sell. We're selling access to this course. Currently, this is priced at $199, but as we'll get to in a moment, and as I'll talk to you about why we're even writing the sales page in the first place, the price of this is about to go up to $399 because we're adding a load of stuff to it. Sales pages are pretty much the cornerstone of all kind of selling and all kind of copywriting, because no matter what kind of copy you're writing, at some point you're usually going to have to drive someone to a page where they need to decide whether they buy or not. That's the point of a sales page. So it's a pretty important skill to have in your arsenal, like actually learning how to write them. We're going to do that today from scratch. Now, you may already have seen my 5-hour course where I go through my copywriting process, and I talk in great detail about how I would envision the copywriting process and what kind of things you need to think about, and RIOA and getting IVOC data and all that kind of stuff. This video is going to be two things. One, it's going to be an application of the kind of things that I taught in that video. But two, it's also going to be a very realistic view of how a professional copywriter, which is me, actually writes copy. Because I don't sit down every time I need to write copy, because I've been doing this for 7 years, I don't sit down and go, I need to think about every single thing that I wrote in the 5-hour video and lay all of that out in one clean sheet to write copy. I've been doing this for a long time now, so a lot of those things are just ingrained into my head. So what you may find is when you're watching me, you may say, but Alex, you didn't do this one thing that you've mentioned to do. That's because I've been doing it for a long time. And I want to give you not only a practical step-by-step guide on how to write a sales page, but also an insight into if you keep practicing all these things and you do what the 5-hour video says and you practice your own copy and you go and get clients and you work for people, this is how it ends up eventually. Right now, we have one blank page. I have a couple of other tabs up. I have a couple of tabs over there as well that I will bring in as necessary. The only things that you need to know are that we don't need to do product research or market research or anything like that. We don't need to do product research because I made the product, so I know what it is. We don't need to do much market research because I'm actually targeting this at pretty much myself of 5 years ago, and I obviously already know the community very, very well that we're selling to. And we don't really need to do competitor research because I already know all that stuff because we've been doing Copy That for a while. So the research phase we've kind of done, right? We've got other videos on research. You can go and watch them. This is just about copywriting. If you're a copywriter, before you do any kind of writing, any kind of planning for the copy, make useful notes for yourself at the top about what do I need to remember around the copy. So the first thing is, all right, this is a sales page for a campaign lasting 2 to 3 weeks. I should probably check the actual date. I will do that in a minute. Ending with a price hike for the UGMS course from $199 to $399. Okay? That immediately gives me a track to go down. Like, I know that that is why we're writing the copy. The first thing you need to ask yourself before you write copy is, why are we even writing the copy? And sometimes you may find that, well, do we actually need much copy for that? Or should we be doing a sales page for that? In this case, this is a campaign. There's one specific thing that's going to happen, which is a price hike. Yes, we do need a sales page for it to explain these things to people and convince people to buy. Something that you may well be familiar with if you've watched my 5-hour video. And yes, I still do this for all the copy that I write, assuming like I need to sit down and think about the copy I'm writing, which is RIOA. Now, RIOA is a term that I coined to help me with what we call the rule of one. Now, the rule of one is a framework to help you keep focused when you're writing copy. RIOA stands for reader, idea, offer, and action. And the idea is that for every piece of copy you write, you're going to be targeting one reader, you're going to be talking about one idea, you're going to be presenting one offer, and you're going to be driving them towards one action. Now, this is a pretty universal concept. It's not like a formula that only works in some places. Every piece of copy you write kind of has to revolve around these things, or certainly the best pieces of copy revolve around these things, and you make sure you only have one of each. The reader that I want to focus on for this campaign is most likely an existing fan of Copy That slash, now the reason I'm doing slash, you might say, but Alex, that's not necessarily one reader. The one reader, and this is really important, it doesn't have to be sacred. It doesn't need to be that every single thing is just about that one person, because copy can appeal to slightly different people. So whether they're an existing fan of Copy That or whether they're not, doesn't matter so much. But I'm going to be priming this to people who at least know Copy That as a brand or have seen that we do other kind of material, because most likely that's how they're going to be finding out about this offer. Either they're on our list already or they see one of our videos that sends them there. So they're already going to be an existing fan of Copy That. Slash a working copywriter or marketer who can comfortably afford an investment in info products. That's the first thing about the reader that I know. We're not targeting this to anyone who can't afford it. We're not targeting this as beginner copywriters. So the first thing is they already do this stuff and they can comfortably afford this investment. That's the first thing we know about them. The next thing we know about them is that they're interested in earning more money and being in control slash having freedom with their career. Can't even spell. With their career, looking for the best way to do that. And we know they're already interested in marketing. Okay? That's my one reader for this. And you see how, like, I haven't talked about demographics or age or anything like that. I've just given something that is useful for me when I'm writing the copy, so I know I'm going to link everything back to this kind of persona. And a lot of people get caught up on the one reader, but the only thing that matters is that it works for you when you're writing the copy and it keeps the copy focused enough so you're not jumping between things. This can easily exist within one person, and it's the most important things in relation to the copy I'm writing and the product that I'm selling. An existing fan of Copy That is probably the case. Like, most likely they've heard of Copy That to some degree. So that means we don't need to spend ages and ages and ages explaining how Copy That's the best and going into all of our backgrounds. Of course, we'll still remind people of why that is the case, but we don't have to convince them that we're great people. Hopefully they should already think that to some degree. They're a working copywriter or marketer. Definitely. This is not meant to be a piece of copy that's convincing people that copywriting and marketing is great. They should already think that. They can comfortably afford the investment in the info products. Of course, we're going to be saying that the price is a big point, and you can save money if you buy now. That's kind of the point of the campaign. As we see up here, they can save effectively $200 if they buy it now. But we're not going after people who are desperate for money. We're not going to entice them with like, oh, like you can earn 10K months, or like, are you sick of not being able to afford things for X, Y, Z? Like, we're not after that kind of crowd. We're just after people who want to earn more money, okay? And this is why we have the next point. They're interested in earning more money because who isn't? And it's a very common thing, and they probably do believe that they can do more with marketing and with copywriting. So we still want people who want to earn more money, but we're not going for the desperate people who are like, just think, who think their life is crap and who hate themselves and who, are desperate for a way out. And we want people who are interested in furthering their career, having a bit more control, having a bit more time freedom over themselves. These are very often linked with people who I know, including myself, especially in the marketing sphere, when people have started copywriting, a lot of people got into it for that kind of freedom. And maybe they're not quite there yet, and they want to find a way of, well, how do I make more money with this copywriting and marketing thing, and how do I have more control? They're looking for the best way to do it. And of course, they're already interested in this. I do not want to spend time trying to convince people like, hey, marketing is interesting and it's a good thing to get into. That's all I need to know about my reader for now. Like, that makes me happy because I now know who I'm talking to and the things that matter to them most. Okay, so that's the reader. What's the idea? Now, I'm going to confess something. I already have an idea. I'm going to talk to you about how I came to that idea, and we're going to develop on it a little bit. But the fact is, as we've mentioned in a lot of other resources, good ideas often just come from being engrossed in the market, really already like understanding and knowing it, or it just comes from somewhere random where you're doing something else and inspiration strikes. You're like, oh, that's a great idea. What is an idea? That's the first thing. Let me talk to you about that. An idea, when it comes to copy, is effectively your sales argument. It is the big thing that you are trying to get across to the reader. So for example, as we'll come on to in this case, if I was selling, I don't know, a course on property development, okay, like flipping houses, an idea for a piece of copy, a sales page, which is aimed at people who aren't into flipping houses yet, an idea might be, flipping houses is the path to financial freedom. That is the idea. That's not a particularly good idea, and an idea can be expanded on and made to sound better with copy, but the idea, the sales argument is, hey, you want more money, you can get more money by doing this thing, right? That's an idea. It's an argument. It's a thing that we're trying to prove so that at the end of the sales page, the reader goes, I agree with that. One of my favorites is very simple. It's just benefit the reader wants. You just start with that. Okay, is achievable through unique mechanism. It's effectively what I've just said. All right, it's really simple. There are, you may have like kind of read about sales letters and financial copywriters who have different kind of formulas for coming up with ideas or coming up with big ideas. But if you're just sat there and you're stuck, the easiest way to come up with an idea is just to bring it back to the reader. Okay, well, what's the thing that they want most? So we can look from our reader here. Immediately, we can see the thing that they want most is they want to earn more money and they want to have more control and freedom in their career. Great. So that's what they want. And we just need to show them you can get this through this unique thing, unique mechanism. A unique mechanism is the vehicle that you are presenting, the solution that can help them achieve that benefit. If your dog has aching joints and is finding it difficult to walk, the idea could just be, soften joint pain for dogs with, and then something like glucosamine supplements, right? That's the unique mechanism. But glucosamine supplements doesn't sound very great in and of itself. So you could just explain what the unique mechanism is, like I've just done, or you can make it sound a bit more flashy. So that's giving it some kind of interesting name or giving it some kind of code name. So instead of saying glucosamine supplements, you could say like magic powder, or you could say like pup 9 tablet or whatever, like something that is, I completely made those up, but like something that sounds like it's more of a unique thing in and of itself. What have I done for this? Well, effectively the idea is you can earn way more money and have way more control, right, by becoming a marketing consultant, right? That's effectively the idea. But that doesn't sound very sexy and very exciting, right? Like that's not particularly interesting. It's not just about becoming a marketing consultant. Actually, within becoming a marketing consultant, there are two very specific things that you need. Number one is you need competence. So competence equals the skills to actually do marketing. All right? And you need the confidence. That is the self-belief that you can achieve things, right? Okay. You need the competence because, if you get a marketing consultant job and you don't actually know what the fuck you're doing, then you're just gonna get fired or you're not gonna make any money for the client. And you need the confidence because you're not even gonna start to pitch people or talk to people or speak as an authority if you're not confident in yourself. You're not gonna be able to give confidence to other people. Another question though we need to ask is, well, why even be a marketing consultant? Why is a marketing consultant the way to earn money? Remember, if you're putting forward an idea, it's no good to just say the idea. You need to prove it. This may be quite appealing to people because you're saying, hey, this benefit you want, there's a way to get it. Great, that's brilliant. But that doesn't sell on its own. You need to show them proof as to why this is the case. So going back to our reader up here, they're already a working copywriter or marketer. And they're already found a copy that. So they're interested in this stuff already. If they're already working in the copywriting or marketing space, the question they may ask is, okay, well, why can I not achieve this in my current role? Like, what is it about being a marketing consultant like that's different to what I'm currently doing? So what we need to do is we need to make marketing consultants sound far more exciting. The secret to big money and time freedom, if you like, that's not copy, but the secret to big money and time freedom within marketing is becoming an everything marketer. And that's because, I should just say, that's as opposed to just being a copywriter or just being a specific performance marketer or another kind of weird made up title, right? This is something I see time and time again. This isn't just something I'm making up for copy. This is something that's real and true. And when something is true, it's far easier to write copy about it and it's far more convincing. Not just focusing on copywriting or another specific channel of marketing. Of course, you can just focus on copywriting, or you could just focus on, say, emails, for example. And yeah, if you become really, really good at it and you become the best in your field at that thing, you may get paid a lot of money. But guess what most people are not becoming? They're not becoming confident to be able to go into any business and say, yep, I can sort your marketing out for you. I can help you grow. I can do that. And that's why I earn a lot of money, because I can do that. Let's synthesize this into a good idea. So my thinking on this is as follows. Copywriting cannot make you rich, right? Again, this isn't copy, so this isn't stuff I'm actually putting out in the world. This is just my internal monologue right now. For example, I wouldn't put this because it can make you rich. It could. I can't sit here and say it definitely won't, because that's not true. But just let me run with my internal monologue first. So my basic argument is copywriting cannot make you rich, or I'm going to just change it just so we don't cause any confusion, is extremely unlikely to make you rich. That's because business owners rarely see the value in it. Okay? That's the first thing. It's the same with so many other niches within marketing. Okay, so account-based marketing, or SEO marketing, or affiliate marketing, all this stuff, right? That people say, oh, learn this thing and you'll be rich forever, or learn this thing, you can do this for clients and people will love you, or email marketing, I'll put that as well. Okay? None of these specific things are likely to make you rich because they're, let's face it, like they are within a very kind of specific framework. Like you can't really do anything. If you say you're an SEO marketer, well, then you're restricting yourself to SEO marketing. And let me just tell you, like business owners, they are lazy people. Like they want someone to come in and do as much as possible for them. And if you have to convince them that SEO is a great thing or emails are a great thing, so often they're not even going to give you the time of day. They're going to be like, oh, fine, like, okay. Instead, and this is the same, like, this is what I did. The key is becoming an everything marketer. So you can walk into any business and immediately know what they need to change to make more money, regardless of the niche and regardless of the problems. If you know everything, if you know all that stuff, you can walk in and say, oh, it's this specific thing, so we need to focus on it. But also there's these two other things we need to fix, right? Whereas if I come in and I'm a copywriter, yeah, I can help you with your copy, and I can say, well, this sales page isn't very good, but hey, I didn't realize that you're emailing to a segment of the list which has 50,000 people in it, which is 80% of your list, and like half of them are hard bounces. But I'm just a copywriter, so I wouldn't even know that. So it doesn't even matter how good my copy is, because guess what? There's another fundamental problem somewhere else in the business that I can't recognize. Therefore, I can't help, so it means I can't actually make the business more money, but also it means the business owner has a more difficult time recognizing why I'm valuable. Luckily, like, that isn't as hard as it sounds. Because it isn't as hard as it sounds. Becoming an everything marketer sounds daunting, but actually it's easier than you think, and it's more conceptual, and it's more just about the confidence and competence. Being in high demand because owners recognize my value, knowing that I can go in and fix things, and the confidence in my own ability, something like that, means being high demand because owners recognize, knowing I can go and fix things, means I never have to worry about finding clients or money again. Okay, so that's why you should do it, because it's just the best fucking thing in the world. Like, and again, this is just anecdotally between us, something I'll probably include in the sales page, and I think about it. I've just resigned from my job, my in-house role, just because it's just not for me anymore. We've done great stuff there, but I want to go back to working on my own businesses. But like, I didn't have to stress about that, like, at all, because I'm like, I'm not enjoying it anymore. I'm gonna do something else. That's only because I have this. That's it. Like, I know I'm absolutely fine for money. Like, I already make enough, and I know that I can just reach out to like 15 people and say, hey, I'm on the market, and immediately I'll have a job. I'm lucky as well because I get to work on my own businesses, so great. But it's only because I can do this. So the key to becoming an everything marketer, which I think we're going to call like e-marketer. We're going to call it like an e-marketer, is gaining the competence and the confidence. And then ultimately, the UGMS / e-marketer, or we'll call it, I think, like the e-marketer master plan or something like that, I think is what Sean suggested. So e-marketer has been designed to give you both. I started with, here's just like a simple formula for creating an idea, like if I needed it, but like I say, it's already ingrained. So my first thing is you can earn more money and have more control by becoming a marketing consultant. That's the basic idea of this whole fucking sales page. Then I started to expand it out, which is the secret to big money and time freedom with marketing is becoming an everything marketer, not just focusing on one specific niche. The way to achieve that is through gaining the competence and gaining the confidence. That's the key. And then I extrapolate all of that out into this. So let's just read again. This is not copy, guys. Just want to make this clear. This is not going into the sales page. This bit. This is just me stringing out the idea in my head, so I have a clear idea of it. So copywriting is extremely unlikely to make you rich. That's because business owners rarely see the value in it. It's the same with so many other niches. Instead, what I did, the key is becoming an everything marketer, so you can walk into any business, immediately know what they need to change to make more money, regardless of the niche and regardless of the problems. Luckily, it's not as hard as it sounds. Being in high demand because owners recognize my value, knowing I can go in and fix things, and the confidence in my abilities means I never have to worry about finding clients or money again. Plus, I command way higher rates. So the key to becoming an everything marketer is gaining the competence and the confidence, and the UGMS is there to do that. So how do we boil all of that down into one nice little phrase that I can stick at the very top of the doc so I never lose focus of what I'm actually writing here? That is effectively the idea of this sales page. Does that line up with the reader that we've put down? They're someone who already works in copywriting marketing. Yep, so we know that. They can already accompany me for this product. Yep, it's going to be expensive, you know, for beginners. So like they should still steer well clear of it. They're interested in earning more money. Yep, and being in control of having freedom. Yep, we've got that. And they want the best way to do that. So what have we said? The real key is becoming an e-marketer, not just a single niche. And this is going to give you X. It's going to provide the confidence and the competence. That effectively is the idea. Okay, so let's just delete all this. There you go. That's the idea of the sales page. I know we've just spent many minutes doing it. This because it's the most important part of the whole fucking sales page, right? You need to know what the sales argument is because otherwise you can't write anything. So I wanted to talk you very thoroughly through how I came up with that. Now, if I wasn't explaining it to a camera, that only would have taken me a couple of minutes to do. But I want you to understand everything. So you don't need to spend that long necessarily coming up with an idea, but oftentimes it will help, especially in the early days. Like often you'll be stewing on an idea for a while, and then you'll come and be like, and you can, as long as you can logically explain, right, this matters because of this, and this matters because of this, fantastic, it works. We've got the reader, we've got the idea. What's the offer? Well, we know the offer is this course, so ultimately it's that. But it's not that simple. An offer is not a product. An offer is a web of promises and benefits and potentially bonuses. It's everything that the reader is going to receive from doing what we ask them. Now, yeah, they're going to get a product, but what do they get that's attached to that product? What extra guarantees do they get? Do they get anything else that's useful? Do they get anything else that benefits them more abstractly? Like, do they get it immediately, for example? That could be part of the offer. They haven't got to wait for it. Free shipping, for example, is part of an offer. An offer isn't just the product that you're buying, it's all the things around it. Buy the EMP with all its modules, or not so buy the EMP, just say the EMP with all its modules and free bonuses, which are obviously things we will come to discuss. It's currently $199. 2024. The price goes up by $200. And we're adding a bunch of new content, which I will break down at some point soon. Because remember, like, we're not just doing this price hike for no reason. We're not just being mean. We have created Sean's offer masterclass recently, my masterclass on cross-pollination. We also have a bunch of resources around offer building we're going to be creating. And crucially, you get lifetime access, which includes all future content that may be added. Because the EMP is our only course on marketing strategy. Like, that's the whole point of it. It's the only product that we have on marketing strategy. So everything that we think is related to marketing strategy is going to be going in there. So if you buy it before the 20th of August, you get it for $200 off of what it is going to be, and then you get lifetime access to it as well. So you will never have to pay any more increases that happen. Like, it's just $199. That's all you'll ever pay for it. You don't need to pay any more. Plus, you'll get content in the future. Plus, patrons get $20 off. Okay, so if again, I need to obviously, after I've written the sales page, I need to like put it up, and then I need to go and sort all the admin stuff out for this to launch tomorrow. One of those things will be creating a discount code for any patrons who will get $20 off. And then the action is quite simply go to the checkout page to buy. That's the action. Easy, see? If only they were all like that. But now we have our RIOA built out. So we know that it's an existing fan of Copy That and a working copywriter or marketer who can afford this. They're interested in making more money and having more freedom over their career. And they want the best way to do that. We already know they're interested in marketing. The idea is that the real key to high rates and time freedom is becoming an e-marketer, not just relying on a single niche. And the product and the EMP, I should say now, and the EMP gives you both the confidence and competence to make that a reality, okay? Like, that is what the idea is. The offer is the EMP with all its modules and its bonuses. It's currently $199. If you buy it now, you're going to save $200 because on the 20th of August it's going up by $200. Plus, we're going to add a bunch of new content. You'll get lifetime access to it, and it's going to include all of the future content we add. Plus, if you're a Patreon member, you get $20 off. And the action is go to the checkout page to buy. What will the reader see before this page? Okay, important question to ask yourself. Now, this is usually quite important if, like, you're not creating a whole campaign in one go, because I'm creating the whole campaign. So me and the Copy That guys, we're writing the emails for this, we're doing the videos, we're doing the live streams. So we're creating a lot of assets that are going to push people to the sales page. If you're just writing, like for a project, and you're writing one piece of copy within a framework that already exists, you need to understand what the people seeing your copy have already seen, because that can really change how you talk to them. If you're writing a squeeze page to try and get them to download a free guide on building biceps, but they've just watched a video on how to build biceps and it's given away all that information already, or it's kind of told them what the main ideas are, you just writing like fascinations, you know, writing bullets that are kind of teasing the things that they already think they know, that's not a good idea. Instead, you need to build on what they've just seen and make it sound even better. Like, oh, to complete the training or to get the full picture, I need to download this thing. So this is a really important question to ask yourself if you are writing any kind of copy within a framework that already exists, because you need to make sure you're not writing something that goes against what they've just seen. Lift emails, live stream masterclasses, and Copy That videos. Okay, and maybe Discord messages, right? First thing that I want to say before I do any planning is that I was asked earlier what formulas and what frameworks I use. I do not use many formulas. I use concepts and things that I've picked up over the years, which helped me to have a starting point with certain pieces of copy. So RIOA is one of them, where it helps me put on the right track. This is not a prescriptive method. This isn't telling me, hey, your reader, you need to write the reader in a certain way, or you need to write the idea in a certain way. It's just saying, hey, Alex, you need to make sure you have this down. What type of lead do I want to have for this sales page? So effectively, the lead is the start of the sales page, and they can either be indirect, where you're not really talking about the offer straight away. You're more just trying to grab attention through something that's intriguing or interesting or maybe somewhat relevant to the reader, and then push them into thinking they need your offer. So that's indirect, all the way over to very direct, where you basically just say, here's this offer, this is what it costs, buy it. Okay, that's a very direct lead. When I look at this reader and who they are, they're an existing fan of Copy That, or they've seen one of our videos recently, like that's why they know of us, so they already know of what we do, and they already know about copywriting and marketing. So because they already know what we do and they're already looking for a solution for this, we can be very direct with our lead. I want to float around the promise lead to offer lead kind of section. A promise lead is where you're leading usually with a big benefit, or a claim, something that you're promising people that they're going to have. It doesn't have to be a direct, you don't have to say I promise, but it could say, lose 50 pounds in 3 weeks, or the key to happiness, or the key to like becoming a car mechanic, or whatever. You're effectively promising a result. You're promising something. So that's fairly direct, because you're saying, hey, this thing that you care about, this benefit, I can show you how to get it. To an offer lead, which an offer is you are literally just presenting the thing you're offering, telling them how much it is, and saying, this is what I want you to do. So that's probably where we're going to gravitate towards, that kind of area, because we can afford to be quite direct, because the people already know us, they know we're going to sell something, and we already know what their big problem is. Where do I start? Well, as you guys will know, if you've watched my 5-hour video, I like doing things called the messaging hierarchy and spit drafting. Now, there's been a lot of confusion as to what the messaging hierarchy is versus spit drafting, and I understand why. If I could remake the 5-hour video, I would definitely clarify a few things in it, that being one of them. Especially now, because now that I have gone on and on in my career, I don't really find myself doing like, here is a messaging hierarchy and here is a spit draft. It kind of all just gets jumbled into one. Like, it's more just a kind of, I kind of just call it plotting now. I just kind of plot out what I know I need to write about. So if I'd done all the research for this previously, like, and I had it all in front of me, I'd be using that research now to plot things out. As it happens, all the research is in my head because I already know about this market and the product. So I'm just going to plot things out as to the way I think it should be. So the first thing that I want to write about is definitely like call out to the one reader. So effectively just reminding people of like the desire they have and what they want and the big benefit they're after. And presenting the idea. Okay, that's effectively the first thing I want to do here. This in and of itself is effectively promising the biggest benefit. So almost the first thing I want to do, obviously I'll write the actual copy for it, but like I kind of just want to show them the idea. Right? I want to call them out and I want to show them the idea. Like, this thing you've already heard, like, don't. It's stupid. I'm going to show you the way to actually get what you want. Okay? That's the first thing I want to do. Then the next thing is I want to remind people of who I am. People already know me, most likely, if they're watching this, and they'll know copy that. But effectively a small recap, just in case someone doesn't know me or, like, isn't quite sure who we are. So I just want to do a small recap just on something that's important that's also going to leverage trust. Okay, so that's not like necessarily going to be a full backstory, but I just want to leverage my authority. So remind of my success and recap gurus. We'll just copy that, like just say, and remember we've got 40 years experience. So can you immediately see, instead of me starting at some kind of existing sales page formula or framework and me going, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that, I'm literally just reading what the reader is, thinking about what my reader wants, and now I'm plotting it out based on that. I'm not getting myself trapped in a corner of, oh, I have to do this, or I have to do it in this order, or now I have to introduce the proof section, or now I have to, because that's a stupid fucking way of writing. Back up my idea with logic, because I'm going to start here by saying something like, look guys, copywriting or whatever is not the best way to earn money. If you really want to earn money and you really want to do this, then you have to become an e-marketer. You have to become the everything marketer, the e-marketer. I'll explain what that is in a minute. Then I'll leverage my authority and say about how this has led me to success. I'll recap why copy that should be listened to. Now, because I've effectively opened the loop and teased it, now I'm going to back my idea up with logic and why it works. Okay, so that's the first thing. Then, this is really important to me. I want to tell the reader who this isn't for. These are called not statements. I really like not statements for a few reasons. Number one is because in case someone is reading this who is, for example, a beginner copywriter or is like under 18, we don't want them to buy this. Or if they don't have enough money, we don't want them to buy this. So one, saying like this is not for people who cannot afford it, this is not for people who aren't working copywriters, blah, 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 blah. One, it stops those people from buying, which is what we want, because this is too advanced for them. And two, it shows the right people, the people we are after, that, oh, well, if it's not for these other people, then it means it is for me. So that's great. So not statements are definitely something I want to introduce. This also kind of helps give a bit more to the call out that we've already done, because we've already called out to the reader, which is like, hey, if you want this thing, you're in the right place. And now we're just solidifying, look, you should only be doing it if you want X, Y, and Z. You shouldn't be doing it if you're in another category. As you can see, we haven't really done much so far. And like I said, it's because this can be quite a direct lead. So then I want to just do the offer reveal. Part of me, honestly, like, would be tempted to make this even more direct and just have like, hey, we have this course and there's going to be money off of it. The reason I'm not doing that is because I want to talk to people who even if they have already seen the UGMS, I want to talk to people who like just need a bit more convincing of like, well, what is the right path to take? There's no good in me just saying, oh, there's loads of money off a course that we have, because they might not know they need that course right now. They might not be sure. But what I do know, if they are like just wanting to earn more money in their career and they are wanting to find a way to like actually have that freedom but stay within marketing, this is the answer for them. So I don't just want to launch straight in with the offer and say, hey, it's loads of money off. But it is still quite a direct lead, so I do want to do that fairly early on. I don't want to wait until the bottom to reveal the price or anything like that. It's not. Then I want to give like a bit of a spiel about why the offer, or actually why the product, I should say, not the offer, is good in itself. So that's actually then describing the EMP and saying, okay, well, this is why we've built it. So like why it was built, what it covers, what else? Why it was built, what it covers, why it works, all that kind of stuff. Then we want to kind of give a bigger reveal to like everything. So we want to actually break down the modules of product and add-ons of the offer. So that, for example, is stuff like the free bonuses, and that's also starting to kind of make a big deal about how also you're going to get lifetime access, also you're going to have all this other stuff added to it, right? Also, I want to talk about the campaign slightly. So like behind the scenes, peek into our campaign. Oh, fucking always get those ones wrong. Peek into our campaign and tease the masterclasses. Here, I want to tease the masterclasses with dates and basically say, look, you know, you can turn up on these dates if you want and you can watch it for free, but like if you miss that date or if you can't make it, then it's gone forever. Like you can only get it inside this course. Then we want to do like a big testes push, so a big testimonial, and then final push with urgency. That is pretty much how I want to plot out this sales page. But let's just go through that one more time to show you the reasoning. I want to call out to the reader because this is a direct lead and I want to show that the desire they have, the benefit they're after, I can deliver that for them. And I want to start by presenting the idea because it's a strong idea and it piques their interest into, okay, well, how can I achieve this benefit that you've promised me? All right, so I'll reveal the everything marketer, okay? Then I want to leverage my authority, saying how this has worked for me, that I've got a load of good cred, remind them of my success, and recap on just who Copy That are and why people trust us in the first place. Then I want to close the loop effectively on this first bit, which is back up my idea with logic and show why it works. That's the stuff I was talking about up here when I was coming up with the idea, you know, about like how business owners, you know, don't trust copywriters to actually make loads of money, and people just think about wanting a marketing consultant, all that kind of stuff. Then I want to show about who this offer just isn't for before I reveal the offer, because we're doing this quite early up and not leaving it till like later on, because people are going to want to see what we're actually selling them immediately. This is quite direct. Talk about generally why the course is actually good, why it was built, what it covers, giving that that added context so people understand it a bit more and they feel more comfortable with it. Then we'll break down the modules, we'll do a bunch of fascinations there. We'll give a behind the scenes peek into our campaign, tease the masterclasses just to make it seem even better. And like because ultimately, and this is something that we've been, Copy That's been praised for quite a lot by you guys, which I really appreciate, but you guys always say we're really transparent and say that, you know, we do just show you, like this stream, how we do stuff and why we're doing it. So I want to kind of include that in this campaign and say, look, like this is part of a campaign and this is why we're doing the campaign and here's the stuff you need to know about it. Then we end with a lot like testimonials that we have, which we may use throughout the page as well, and then we have a final push with the CTA. That all makes sense. The first thing that I want to type at the very top is for working copywriters and marketers who want to make the most money possible. And marketers only. So what I'm doing right now is this is going to be what we call the eyebrow copy. So the thing at the top of the page, just to let people know, hey, this is who this is for, right? So I definitely want for working copywriters and marketers So there we go. This is obviously not all copy that's going on the page. I'm just writing out the first ideas I have when I'm writing this. So working copy as a marketer is definitely something I want to say. Make the most money possible. Bit weak. Working copyright as a marketer is only, like, yeah, it certainly gets across who it's for, but again, like, the only isn't really adding too much because it's not saying much more than for working copyright as marketers is. But something along this is more where I'm getting to, who want to break their earning ceiling and achieve real freedom. I definitely like that because it's something that resonates and appeals to me, is that I'm looking for freedom, right, in my career. I want freedom to make choices, all right, something like that. As for the headline itself, what am I trying to do? I want to present the idea. We can either basically play it safe. This isn't copy, this is just me saying, so we can either play it safe, like the key to earning what you want and setting your own hours is to become an everything marketer. Right, something like that. Obviously, that's not copy. That's why this is a spit draft. Okay, that's playing it kind of safe, just because we're just repeating the benefit. Or we can start to immediately create an enemy and do something a bit more intriguing, which is something like, so I just have the idea of creating an enemy, which is like, they are lying to you. The key to riches and freedom in marketing isn't copywriting or SEO or affiliate marketing, etc., etc. The truth, and then you could say something about the truth. Or the other thing I have in mind is playing like the savior slash guru route, where I talk about it from basically my perspective, and this obviously it's still about the reader, but it becomes more about me and about this is how I actually did it. Okay, so like how I actually achieved the highest pay and, you know, freest hours, which is obviously shit, it's not real copy, but how I show the highest pay and free, is freest even a word? How I actually achieved riches and freedom in marketing. And then you say like nothing to do, so you can still go with something kind of like what got nothing to do with X, Y, and Z. Instead, the secret lies in what I call e-marketing. Or becoming an e-marketer, right? So those are kind of the three routes I have. I would definitely do between B and C, is my first thing. I personally wouldn't do A. A, again, it does what it says on the tin. It plays it safe. Like, it's fine. It would work, and I'm confident all of these would work no matter which one I like went to. But ultimately, like, it's not really doing anything. Now, between B or C, honestly, I think you could do either of these. I really do. I am going to more towards a hybrid. I'm going to err more towards C, because the savior route of like, this is how I actually did it, immediately leads in to leveraging my own authority, which is something I'm going to do anyway. But I'm definitely going to mix these two. You can see I kind of was already doing that with the nothing to do with X, Y, Z, and then we've got this. I'm still definitely going to include like they're lying to you. This is an example of where I've come up with a couple of ideas that are very similar, that can complement each other. So instead of like deciding between them, I'm just going to work them into each other and use function edits to move them throughout the page so they still make sense. For working copyright as marketers who want to break their own ceiling and achieve real freedom, allow me to reveal the surprisingly boring truth of e-marketing, how I actually got rich and earned time freedom without listening to the lies peddled by get-rich-quick gurus. What I want to do here is, you may already know me. It's Myatt, and I've earned millions of dollars. Personally earned millions. I've personally earned millions of dollars from marketing. Thinking back, when I started 7 years ago. That's crazy to say, but it's true. I want to just kind of share a bit of proof. So what I call becoming an e-marketer. And no, that's not just a fancy way of saying digital marketer. In the last 7 years, I've worked for Unilever. Now this, guys, what I'm doing here, just I need to remember I have people and I'm talking to them. This is effectively like the cred section. The reason I'm bringing this up here, I'm definitely going to be cutting a lot of this down. The reason I'm doing it now and I'm bringing it up here is because like I just need people to know that this claim that I've just made, like it is a reality. Okay, whereas like Unilever, I've started and sold my own e-commerce companies, and I've been paid tens of thousands, I should say tens of thousands for single projects. So now I'm actually rich. Again, the stuff I'm putting out here, I'm just putting down to like get it out of my head. Like that line, like I know I'm definitely not going to keep, but I just want it down because it's going to help me thread through the thoughts I'm already having and the conversation I'm having with myself. Like my goal is for this section, this like cred section, to be no more than like 3 lines for myself, and then I also want a line about copy that, and I want to have some kind of like strip or banner that just shows our photos, so it shows we're real people when we've done stuff. Okay, and I get to decide who I work with and what businesses I set up. But I'm not alone, because the whole copy that crew have similar stories. And between us, we have over 40 years of marketing experience, so you can trust us when we tell you we know what it takes to succeed in marketing. All right, this is kind of like the cred section I want. So now, again, I'm quite ruthless when I edit. I go through and I cut just like as I'm writing. So right now, you already know me. I'm Alex Myatt. I've personally earned millions of dollars from marketing. Like, don't need that. You already know me. Like, Alex Myatt, I've personally earned millions of dollars from marketing. Great. That is the start of the proof that backs this up. We're still going to need more proof from this. Thinking back to when I started 7 years ago, that's crazy to say, but it's true. Don't need that. That opens the loop. I don't think we need that either. Like, I thought we might need that. So, I'm Alex Myatt. I've personally earned millions of dollars from marketing, and I also what I call becoming an e-marketer. And it's all because, I figured out how to become an e-marketer. More on that in a minute. Okay, so we've started firing the proof by saying, look, I've actually done this. I'll prove it in a second. We've now opened the loop for, hey, you want to keep reading, because I'm going to reveal how I did this myself. Now I want to introduce the whole copycat review. Me and the whole copycat crew have have similar stories. Between us, we have over 40 years of marketing experience, working for brands like, and this is where I'm going to turn this into bullets so it's easier to read. So, oh, fucking hell, hang on. Where are you, bullets? For brands like Unilever, Nike, and Agora Financial, earning tens of thousands for single projects, launching and selling our own businesses. And then here I want photos of copy that crew. Marketing has been an extremely kind career to us, so it's really frustrating when we see working copywriters and marketers, well, we don't need working, it's copywriters and marketers who are stuck at the same pay grade, at the same hours, and in the same position, not knowing how to progress. If that's you, it really isn't your fault. I'm sure you'll agree that there are dozens, there are hundreds even, gurus, all promising the path to riches and happiness through and then copywriting, blah 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 blah. X, no, X, 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 or any combination, or any other line of work you can think of. So let's just move back to the top quickly and just see what we've done so far. So we've got the call out for working copywriters and marketers who want to break their earning ceiling and achieve real freedom. Like bit weak, we will improve that. Allow me to reveal the surprisingly boring truth of I kind of like that line, and I think I might keep it, even though part of me feels it may be shooting myself in the foot by saying it's boring, but like I think that kind of helps set us apart. Allow me to reveal the surprisingly boring truth of e-marketing, how I actually got rich and earned time freedom without listening to the lies peddled by get-rich-quick gurus. I'm Myatt, and I personally earn millions of dollars from marketing. Me and the Collector crew all have similar stories, and between us we have over 40 years of marketing experience. Photos of us working for brands like Unilever, Nike, and Agora Financial, earning 10,000s for single projects, launching and selling our own businesses, and generally being able to decide our own fate. Marketing has been an extremely kind career to us. So it's really frustrating when we see copywriters and marketers who are stuck at the same pay grade, at the same hours, in the same position, not knowing how to progress. And if that's you, it really isn't your fault. Classic kind of line. You always want to tell people it's not their fault because it makes them feel much better. And it often isn't their fault as well. So what am I actually doing? What's the thought process here? So I've started with the call out, like I said. I've communicated the idea, which is just effectively the hook into, okay, well, I'm immediately setting myself against other gurus and other things you've heard. And remember, the people who are on this page, like we set up here, probably already know copy that. Like, so that's good because I already have that like innate trust there that people are going to trust me. So Then I reveal the benefits, like I got rich and earned time freedom, both of which are true things, without listening to the lies peddled by get-rich-quick gurus. Then I effectively just start the proof, or I kind of, what I call validating the claim. So I've implied that I'm rich here, and I implied that I do something. I now need to kind of validate the claim, back that up to say, look, I'm backing myself on this. It's not bullshit. I'm not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. I personally earn millions of dollars from marketing. Then I open the loop into what this is. You know, we've mentioned it up here. I open the loop just to say, you know, look, more on that in a minute. We will get to it. But before that, I need to tell you who the fuck we are, just to remind you of like why we're authorities to speak on this. So even if you know us, you just go like, yeah, like I'm ready to listen to you guys because I get that you understand all this. So highlighting our biggest USPs, which is, look, you know, we're not like other gurus who have just come onto the scene and are kind of bullshitting with courses. We have over 40 years of marketing experience. You can go on any of our LinkedIn profiles and see all the fucking history we have with all the different brands that we work for. And there's 4 of us, and we all work together on it. Photos of us just to add that trust there, to show, look, we're real people. We've worked, and then obviously this is all just, you know, posturing. Here's proof. We've done this. I would like to add images here, potentially, but it might not be the kind of thing that's so easy to do on Google Docs, so we'll see, but if I can, I will. Marketing's been an extremely kind career to us, so it's really frustrating, and here is, again, where what we're doing here, and why I've written this line specifically, is because I'm just reminding and letting people know who are reading this that there is about to be a solution for you. The fact that we find it frustrating means that, well, we must then have the answer. You're not frustrated about something if you can't see if you can't see a way around it. You don't know where you want to go. We're frustrated about this because we've already achieved it. We know how people can too, so it's actually annoying to us. And if that's you, it really isn't your fault. Now I'm leading up to, and I'm working around to the thing that I set up here, which is creating the enemy, which is like, you know, you will have heard all these different things, but actually, you know, the real truth is in e-marketing. And the next thing I need to do is back up my deal with logic and why it works, which I'll come to. But none of it makes sense. Seriously, just think about this logically for a sec. Business owners and decision makers. Only want one thing. For someone to do the most amount of work for the least amount of pay. They couldn't give a flying fish, I'm not going to say about what oh, that's something else I do, and I recommend you guys do that. Like, if you can't just quite get a word or a phrase or a sentence, just put an X there. Just like, I'm gonna come back to it. It's fine. I hate stopping the flow. They can give a flying fish about what X tries to convince them is the new solution to their problem. Marketing. They have a whole business to think about. They don't care. Difference between a conversion copywriter and a ROI focused SEO marketer. All they want to know is, can you make my business more money? Oops. And can you deal with everything marketing related so I don't have to? very rare that the people with the budgets to spend are actively looking for specific roles. They want to hire someone, work with someone in the easiest way possible. Someone in the easiest way possible. All they know is they need a marketer or a marketing consultant. Who can deal with all their marketing problems. If you're giving them any reason to doubt that, if it's not immediately clear what you do, if it doesn't, if they can't see how your title would fit the role, then they won't hire you. Okay, I'm definitely gonna delete some of this because like this is just, I've just written a load of stuff here, but I'm just still trying to get what I want out of my head because I know exactly where I'm going with this. Take for me, I've worked with countless businesses, and none of them, not none of them, that's not fair to say, and hardly any of them, say business owners, are impressed by fancy sounding jobs. They just want someone who is all results, no BS. So far, happy with that. Happy with that. I want to basically cut this down into like 2 or 3 lines. And this is what I mean. Like, this is how I write copy. I literally just like, I just write everything that's in my head, and then I go through it with a weed whacker. Let's not say that, because that also sounds quite negative, and it's not the best way to put it. Business owner decision makers only want one thing. A person who can fix, Jesus Christ, who can fix all their marketing problems. They don't care about your job title. They don't care what methods you use. They just want shit. Bro. I like that because I think that personifies well. Yeah. Believe me, they don't know the difference between a copywriter and a marketer. They don't care what method you use. They don't care your job title. They don't care what method you use. They don't have time to analyze the problems themselves. Business owners and decision makers only want one thing: a person who can fix all their marketing problems. They don't care about your job title. Believe me, they don't know the difference between a converted copywriter and an ROI focused SEO marketer. They don't care what methods you use. They don't have time to analyze the problems themselves. They just want shit fixed. They couldn't give a... all right. Okay, fine. That's good. This bit's just too confusing. I've worked with... And actually, I won't say countless. I'm going to say how many I've actually worked with. I've worked with over 100 business owners, basically, in my time. I've had 81 clients, or more than... Definitely at least 81, but definitely I think more than that. So I've had at least 81 clients. And then I've also set up my own businesses alongside other businesses, who I've worked with. And I've done affiliate deals with other businesses, which takes it well above, I think, probably to like 110, but I'll just say 100. But here's a little trick. I'm going to say like 104 plus, because specificity always sounds like it's, you know, more real, and it's definitely more than 104, but instead of just saying 100 and 110, I'm just going to say 104 plus, because it also sounds like it's very specific, and it sounds even more true. It is true, it just sounds even more true. Yeah, same thing. Someone who's all results, no BS, just calls themselves a marketer. Gurus may like to push the idea of a specific role or job title because it makes it easier to sell courses. But the reality is, business owners want simple. What's the word? Simple. Want easy to understand. Full package. Give no fluff. Okay, so we've called out that one reader, print the idea. Yep, we've done that. We've leveraged our authority, reminded people like what we're good at. Have we backed up the idea with logic and why it works? It's really frustrating when we see copywriters and marketers who are stuck at the same pay grade, at the same hours, in the same position, not knowing how to progress. And if that's you, it really isn't your fault. Hundreds of different marketing gurus all promise a path to rich happiness lies in a specific solution like da-da-da-da-da, or any other line of work you can think of, but none of it makes sense. Seriously, think about it for a second. Business owners and decision makers, all right. I want to add one more bit of context. To earn more money and set your own hours, you need to become in demand to the people who have money. I.e. business owners and decision makers. The truth is, business owners and makers only want one thing: a person who can fix all their marketing problems. Right, let's see. This is starting to now form into more of a story. This is better. This is getting better and better. I definitely need to clean this up a little bit, but right. So it's really frustrating when we see copywriters and marketers who are stuck at the same pay grade, at the same hours, in the same position, not knowing how to progress. And if that's you, it really isn't your fault. Hundreds of different marketing gurus all promise a path to riches and happiness lies in a specific solution like copywriting, or any other line of work that you can think of. But none of it makes sense. Seriously, just think about this logically for a second. To earn more money and set your own hours, you need to become in demand to the people who have money to spend, i.e. business owners and decision makers. But the truth is, business owners and decision makers only want one thing: a person who can fix all their marketing problems. They don't care about your job title. Believe me, they don't know the difference between a conversion copywriter and an ROI-focused SEO marketer. They don't care what method you use. They don't have time to analyze the problems themselves. They just want shit fixed. I've worked with 104 business owners, and they all want the same thing: someone who is all results, no BS, and just call themselves a marketer. But the truth is, because just want marketing problems. I like to push this. I like that. Gurus may like to push the idea of a specific role or job title because it makes it easier to sell courses. The reality is, business owners want the full package with no fluff. I need to rework that a bit. Curious may like to push the idea of a specific job, a specific role or job title because it makes it easier to sell courses. But the reality is, business owners want the full package with no fluff. And move back up. Next section is not statements. So, and that's why I want to share the power of e-marketing with you. Over the last, well, I guess 9 years technically I've been doing marketing for. So I'll say that in the 9 years that I've been doing I've been writing copy, I'm doing marketing. I've picked up pretty much everything about how to be a good, how to be a marketer that gets results. In other words, how to be a marketer that business owners love. A marketer that business owners love to pay thousands. I won't say love to pay, but I will say are happy to pay thousands. In other words, marketer that business owners are happy to pay thousands to. But no, yeah, good note. So we've got that. See, done. Next is not statements. Now, reading that back, he's like, I've picked up pretty much everything about how to be a marketer. In other words, how to be a marketer that business owners have to pay thousands to, with the help of the rest of the Copy That crew. We've packaged everything we know about marketing and how to succeed how to build a career in marketing into one place. With the help of the rest of the Copy That crew, we've packaged everything we know about marketing and how to build a career in marketing into one place. Before I share it with you, I want to make a few things clear. This is not for beginners. You have to be, or I say you should be, you have to, because you don't have to be, but you should be a you should be someone who already works. Someone who already works in marketing, copywriting, or a similar field. Yeah, that's fine. This is not for beginners. You should be someone who already works in marketing, copywriting, or a similar field. I'll say, I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, whether we call it a master plan or a course or it's not a blueprint, but it's kind of a blueprint, I guess, but like this, I might say like this, whatever. For now, I'll just say this. It's not for beginners. This is not for anyone who can't afford investment in themselves. The information we have to share. The share is extremely valuable and not cheap. And crucially, this is not for anyone, not for people who aren't sure about their next steps. Only continue if you know you want to be successful in marketing. Before I share it with you, I want to make a few things clear. This is not for beginners. You should be someone who already works in marketing, copywriting, or a similar field. This is not for anyone who can't afford an investment themselves. The information we have to share is extremely valuable and not cheap. And crucially, this is not for people who aren't sure about the next steps. Only continue if you know you want to be successful in marketing. Okay. Here it is. Right, there we go. Done the not statements. There you go. Not statements can be as simple as that. Now it's the offer reveal, right? And then this is where I think we're going to call it DE Marketer Master Plan. Full guide on how to so money, freedom, you can put in there because I'll put them in somewhere by becoming. I don't know why I'm doing it in caps for some reason now. Full guide on how to, by becoming the best marketer. For fuck's sake, best marketer in the room. I don't know how to earn the highest rates. Your own hours. Email website. A full guide on how to earn the highest rates and set your own hours by becoming the best marketer in the room. There we go. That's effectively what it is. For working copywriters and marketers who want to break their earning ceiling and achieve real freedom, allow me to reveal the surprisingly boring truth of e-marketing, how I actually got rich and earned time freedom without listening to the lies peddled by get-rich-quick gurus. And I think what I'm going to say here is included below limited 2-week discount. Is it 2 weeks or 3 weeks? 3 weeks. 3-week discount to save $200. Something like that. I might change that slightly, but like, yeah, I want to I do want to make it obvious that, hey, you know, this is something that if you want to like take advantage of this, then it's happening now. Probably will include a button here as well. Button. Because I actually quite like doing this for info products. I've never really seen anyone else do this, but when it's like a launch campaign, but we're doing stuff like this and people have already heard about it, I like doing a button. It's like, I already know I want this. All right, e-marketing, how I actually got rich and earned time freedom without listening to the lies peddled by get-rich-quick gurus. Included below, limited 3-week discount, save $100 before we raise the price. I'm Alex Myatt, and I've personally earned millions of dollars from marketing, and it's all because I figured out how to become an e-marketer. More on that in a minute. More on that in just a minute. Little things like that, guys, by the way, because like someone asked earlier, when I just tweak little things, I literally do that for no other reason than it sounds better in my head. That is the only reason I do that. Don't know why. This is why I need to read books that talk more about line edits to see if I should be doing that or not. But again, it's my style. I want it to sound how I want it to sound. And it's all because I figured out how to become an e-marketer. More on that in just a minute. Me and the whole Copy That crew all have similar stories, and between us we have over 40 years of marketing experience, working for brands like Unilever, Nike, and Agora Financial, earning tens of thousands for single projects, launching and selling our own businesses, and generally being able to decide our own fate. Marketing has been an extremely kind career to us, so it's really frustrating when we see copywriters and marketers who are stuck at the same pay grade, at the same hours, and in the same position, not knowing how to progress. And if that's you, it really isn't your fault. Hundreds of different marketing gurus all promise a path to riches and happiness lies in a specific, I'm going to say niche. I'm going to call this a niche. And happiness lies in a specific niche, like sales copywriting, SEO copywriting, affiliate marketing, conversion optimization, dropshipping consulting, or any other line of work you can think of. But none of it makes sense. But this way of thinking simply doesn't make sense. But this way of thinking simply doesn't make sense. Seriously, just think about it. Seriously, think about this logically for a second. To earn more money and set your own hours, you need to become in demand to the people who have money to spend. But the truth is, hang on. But this way of thinking simply doesn't make sense. Seriously, think about this logically for a second. To earn more money and set your own hours, you need to become in demand to the people who have money to spend, i.e. business owners and decision makers. But the truth is, business owners and decision makers just want a person who can fix all their marketing problems. They don't care about your job title. Believe me, they don't know the difference between a conversion copywriter and I'm doing an and like that, and an ROI-focused SEO marketer. They don't care what methods you use. They don't have time to analyze the problems themselves. They just want shit fixed. I've worked with 104 plus business owners, and they all want the same thing. Someone who is all results, no BS, and just calls themselves a marketer. Gurus may like to push the idea of a specific role or job title. Gurus may like to push the idea of a specific niche because it makes it easier to sell courses, but the reality is business owners want the full package with no fluff. And that's why I want to share the power of e-marketing with you. In the 9 years I've been writing copy and doing marketing, In the 9 years I've done marketing, I've picked up pretty much everything about how to be. Hang on, that doesn't sound right. In the 9 years I've been doing, 9 years I've done marketing. Been doing sounds better there to me. In the years I've picked up pretty much everything about how to get good results. In the 9 years I've been doing marketing, I've picked up pretty much everything there is to know. In the 9 years I've been doing marketing, I've picked up pretty much everything there is to know about how to get good results. In other words, how to be a marketer that business owners are happy to pay thousands to. So with the help of Copy That, with the help of the rest of the Copy That crew, we've packaged everything we know about marketing and how to build a career. How to hit the big leagues. Know about how to hit the big leagues. I want to change that into like something actual solid that's dimensionalized, but we'll do that later. So with the help of the rest of the Copy That crew, we've packaged everything we know about how to hit the big leads into one place. Before I share it with you, I want to make a few things clear. This is not for beginners. You should be someone who already works in marketing, copywriting, or a similar field. This is not for anyone who can't afford an investment themselves. The information we have to share is extremely valuable and not cheap. And crucially, this is not for people who aren't sure about their next steps. Only continue if you know you want to be successful in marketing. Okay, here it is. The e-marketer master plan, a full guide on how to earn the highest rates and set your own hours by becoming the best marketer in the room. This is the exact These are the exact steps. This is the exact, what's the word? Knowledge? I don't know. We'll say this is the exact kind of set of steps that I took, because it is like, I'll think on that. But anyway, how do we feel about that? I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's good. I think that we hit on the idea that we want to get across. We're actually talking about the shit they're going to care about. We're giving enough proof. We're setting ourselves apart. We're making it obvious this is something new. We have the USP that we've actually been, like, linked to our idea. I think I want to be a little bit stronger around here about, like, how it really is just as simple as, like, businesses just want marketing. And, like, that's how you're going to earn a lot of money, is just by being the best marketer in the room. Like, I want to pull that up a little bit. But that's pretty good so far. This is the bit where I'm about to start talking about, like, hey, this is like why we built it for this reason. It's the only thing you're going to need. Blah 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 blah. Terms. EMP. Contains everything that I personally used to go from £5,000. Should I do it in dollars? It's a bit more relatable. So what's that in dollars? Like $7,000? Something like that. Was per month. To, I need to do this. Hang on, let me do it on my phone. Oh, I can do it. Why was I going to do it on my phone when I've got a computer right here? Although I'm doing it on the other screen. So this is GBP to USD. So what was it? £5,000. So $6,429. So 6,400. We'll say. Round it down. To. So yeah, so 19,500 is 25,000. Is that right? Yeah, $25,000 to $25,000 a month. In simple terms, the EMP contains everything I personally use to go from $6,400 per month to $25,000 per month. All through the power what I call everything marketing. Because it's true. There is no single magic bullet to start earning loads more money. Instead, the only thing that I know works, I know can work, so I don't want to guarantee that it works, but I know it can work because I did it. Instead, the only thing that I know can work is is picking up a varied collection of marketing skills, then using them to get results for the best clients. Instead, the only thing that I know can work is picking up a varied collection of marketing skills and then using them to get results for the best clients. It doesn't sound too sexy when I put it like that, but it's the truth. Truth, and I don't want to dress it up as that. Don't need that. Making a lot of money and having the freedom to set your own destiny. Time. Making a lot of money and having freedom to control your own time is 100% possible. And it comes down to smart learning. Down to knowing the right stuff. Making a lot of money and having freedom to control your own time is 100% possible, and it comes down to knowing the right stuff. And the best thing, you don't need to spend hundreds of hours becoming the best at everything. You just need to get good enough at the right selection of things. And the compounding effect. You just need to get good enough at the right selection of things. Because when you multiply them all together, you end up equaling the best marketer in the room. And that is what business owners are looking for. The E-Marketer Master Plan, EMP, a full guide on how to earn the highest rates and set your own hours by becoming the best marketer in the room. In simple terms, the EMP contains everything that I personally use to go from $6,400 a month to $25,000 a month, all through the power of what I call everything marketing. Because it's true. There's no single magic bullet to start earning loads more money. Instead, the only thing that I know can work is picking up a varied collection of marketing skills, then using them to get results for the best clients. It doesn't sound too sexy when I put it like that, but it's the truth. Making a lot of money and having the freedom to control your own time is 100% possible, and it comes down to knowing the right stuff. And the best thing, you don't need to spend hundreds of hours becoming the best at everything. You just need to get good at the right selection of things. Because when you multiply them all together, you end up equaling the best marketer in the room. And that is what business owners are looking for. For example, this is where I want to demonstrate this. Let's picture two scenarios. Scenario 1. You, the conversion copywriter, big money client. We need to increase profits. Okay. That was right. Increase profits. Right. See what I'm going for here? There we go. Make it a bit more obvious. I wonder if you guys can tell what I'm doing here. I assume you can. But I'm also gamifying the sales page. I'm making it more engaging to read. Because when you see like a little kind of story box, we can put these in little boxes, it breaks the page up, it helps you actually kind of look at something, it's more entertaining to look at, there's a tiny bit of humor in there. So, you know, works. Winning controllers. Great, I was thinking the same thing. We need to look at the email list. That's the quickest source. Okay, we've actually revenue dropping from emails recently. Oh, I need to change it. Sorry, marked. Interesting. I bet. Interesting. How? What segment? How have you segmented the list? Not by. Games people play, take it or you leave it. I don't think we ever have. Okay. I'll need to jump on that. First thing. Still paying. Additional. Bit of a fun bit at the end. Yes. But I can still, yes, and I can even write a new sequence, email sequence, and work with your team to get it running ASAP. The reality is, scenario 2 is 10,000 times more likely if you become a one-person marketing, a one-person problem solver for businesses, is what becoming an e-marketer is all about. Immediately having answers ready for everything that may come your way. For everything that comes your way. Imagine changing his fortunes in a single conversation. Or 45xing monthly revenue by introducing something they never would have thought of on their own. Or even just being able to half the number of hours you work because there are 5 different businesses chomping at the bit to work with you and prepared to pay you 200% more than you used to charge. I'll say double, just because it makes more sense. Pay you double what you used to charge. Or even just being able to half the number of hours you work because there are 5 different businesses chomping at the bit to work with you and will pay you double what you used to charge. I don't know of a single other role in marketing that can achieve this. I've only been able to do it myself because I stopped chasing a single magic bullet and instead embraced the power of knowing enough, knowing just enough about everything. If this sounds like the path you want to take, let me show you how to get there. Let me show you how I got there. There are 2 things. I need to punch this copy up. But I'm just going to put it here. There are 2 things you need to master. That's not the right word. What's the word? 2 things you need to know. You don't need to spend hundreds of hours becoming the best at everything. You just need to get good enough at the right selection of things. Because when you multiply them all together, you end up equaling the best marketer in the room. And that end up becoming. Not equaling, because equaling makes it sound like there's another marketer in the room who's the best and you're just equaling them. And that is what business owners are looking for. For example, let's picture 2 scenarios. Scenario 1. Big money client. We need to increase profits. You, as a conversion copywriter. Okay, I'm just going to read this out. We need to increase profits. Okay, what do you want me to write? Well, what can you write that will increase profits? I guess I could write a sales email. Email revenue has dropped every time we've sent a campaign recently. Sorry, but I don't think we can justify copywriting in the budget anymore. That kind of sucks, right? Well, compare that to, we need to increase profits. Great, I was thinking the same thing. We need to look at the email list as that will be the quickest way to see results. Oh, okay, we've actually seen revenue drop in free emails recently. Interesting. Interesting. How have you segmented the list? What? I don't think we ever have. Okay, I'll need to jump on that first thing so we can separate the best revenue opportunities from the time wasters. Oh, fantastic. Would you like to pay more for that? Yes, but I can also write a new email sequence and work with your team to get it running ASAP. OMG, you're so amazing, smart, and kind of hot. Your eyes are so beautiful. The reality is, scenario 2 is 10,000 times more likely if you become one-person problem solver for business owners, and that is what becoming an e-marketer is all about. I think it's fine, though. Immediately having answers. Immediately having answers... Okay, that's what I'm going to say. That is what becoming an e-marketer is all about. Immediately having answers for everything that comes your way. Imagine changing an entire business's fortunes in a single conversation, or increasing monthly revenue by 4,500% after introducing something they never would have thought. Or increasing monthly revenue by 4,500% after introducing something they never would have thought of. Or even just being able to half the number of hours you work because there are 5 different businesses chomping at the bit to work with you and will all and will pay you double what you used to charge. I don't know a single other role in marketing that can achieve this. I've only been able to do it myself because I stopped chasing a single magic bullet and instead embraced the power of knowing just enough about everything. If this sounds like the path you want to take, let me show you how to get there. Well, let me show you how I got there. There are 2 things you need to know. Become an e-marketer. You need a baseline of, you need a base understanding of marketing strategy and some underlying, and some key marketing concepts people know how to get. There we go. To become an e-marketer, you need an understanding of marketing strategy. To become an e-marketer, you need a deep understanding of marketing strategy that very few people know how to achieve. Yeah, that's fine. Deep understanding that very few people know how to achieve. Fine, implying we're doing it. And to convince business owners to pay you and to command the highest rates and the most flexible hours you need to know. It's about confidence, you know. You need to speak. You need to be seen as an authority to command the highest rates and the most flexible hours. You need to be seen as the marketing, the highest, not highest, the ex-marketing authority by your prospects. That means you need 2 things. I'm going to change things, but again, I just can't think of anything else to say right now. Competence. Confidence. And then I want to break the EMP offer breakdown into competence and confidence. But as it stands, confidence, there's more confident stuff than confident stuff. Yeah. 2 things: competence, confidence. Which is exactly why we've designed the EMP the way we have. Nobody will work with you. You can't actually money. because nobody will give you a chance if you don't seem confident in yourself. So now we want to break down the EMP into actual like modules. So this is kind of where we go like everything you get inside the EMP, right? Everything you get inside the everything marketer master plan. So before we get to that, I want to read everything through again and see how I like it now. For working copywriters and marketers who want to break their earning ceiling and achieve real freedom, allow me to reveal the surprisingly boring truth of e-marketing, how I actually got rich and earned time freedom without listening to the lies peddled by get-rich-quick gurus. Included below, limited 3-week discount to save $200 before we raise the price. Button, I already know I want this. I'm definitely going to add some stuff to this bit. I'm Myatt, and I've personally earned millions of dollars from marketing, and it's all because I figured out how to become an e-marketer. More on that in just a minute. Me and the whole Copy That crew all have similar stories, and between us we have over 40 years of marketing experience, working for brands like Unilever, Nike, and Agora Financial, earning tens of thousands for single projects, launching and selling our own businesses, and generally being able to decide our own fate. Marketing has been an extremely kind career to us, so it's really frustrating when we see copywriters and marketers who are stuck at the same pay grade, at the same hours, and in the same position, not knowing how to progress. And if that's you, it really isn't your fault. Hundreds of different marketing gurus all promise the path to riches and happiness lies in a specific niche like sales copywriting, SEO copywriting, affiliate marketing, conversion optimization, dropshipping consulting, or any other line of work you can think of. But this way of thinking simply doesn't make sense. Seriously, think about this logically for a second. To earn more money and set your own hours, you need to become in demand to the people who have money to spend, i.e. business owners and decision makers. But the truth is, business owners and decision makers just want a person who can fix all their marketing problems. They don't care about your job title. Believe me, they don't know the difference between a conversion copywriter and an ROI-focused SEO marketer. They don't care what method you use. They don't have time to analyze the problems themselves. They just want shit fixed. I've worked with 104 plus business owners, and they all want the same thing. Someone who is all results, no BS, and just calls himself a marketer. Gurus may like to push the idea of a specific niche because it makes it easier to sell courses, but the reality is business owners want the full package with no fluff. And that's why I want to share the power of e-marketing with you. In the 9 years I've been doing marketing, I've picked up pretty much everything there is to know about how to get good results. In other words, how to be a marketer that business owners are happy to pay thousands to. So with the help of the rest of the Copy That crew, we've packaged everything we know about how to hit the big leagues into one place. Before I share it with you, I want to make a few things clear. This is not for beginners. You should be someone I'm definitely going to bring back some of the stuff I do further on. Like, I'm going to bring that back up here just to talk about, oh, imagine this and imagine that. It just needs a bit more. There's not enough focus on the benefits, but I'll bring that up. Before I share it with you, I want to make a few things clear. This is not for beginners. You should be someone who already works in marketing, copywriting, or a similar field. This is not for anyone who can't afford an investment themselves. The information we have to share is extremely valuable and not cheap. And crucially, this is not for people who aren't sure about their next steps. Only continue if you know you want to be successful in marketing. Okay, here it is. The E-Marketer Master Plan, EMP, a full guide on how to earn the highest rates and set your own hours by becoming the best marketer in the room. In simple terms, the EMP contains everything that I personally use to go from $6,400 a month to $25,000 a month, all through the power of what I call everything marketing. Because it's true, there is no single magic bullet to There's no single magic bullet to start earning loads more money. Instead, the only thing I know can work is picking up a varied collection of marketing skills, then using them to get results for the best clients. It doesn't sound too sexy when I put it like that, but it's the truth. Making a lot of money and having the freedom to control your own time is 100% possible, and it comes down to knowing the right stuff. And the best thing, but the best thing, you don't need to spend hundreds of hours becoming the best at everything. But change that to greatest. Used best too many times. You don't need to spend hundreds of hours becoming the greatest at everything. You just need to get good enough at the right selection of things. Because when you multiply them all together, you end up becoming the best marketer in the room. And that is what business owners are looking for. For example, let's picture 2 scenarios. Scenario 1. We need to increase profits. Okay, what do you want me to write? Well, what can you write that will increase profits? I guess I could write a sales email. Our email revenue has dropped every time we've sent a campaign recently. Sorry, but I don't think we can justify a copywriter in the budget anymore. That kind of sucks, right? Well, compare that to, we need to increase profits. Great, I was thinking the same thing. We need to look at the email list, as that will be the quickest way to see results. Okay, we've actually seen revenue dropping from emails recently. Interesting. How have you segmented the list? What? I don't think we ever had. Let me see. I don't think we ever have. Okay, I'll need to jump on that first thing so we can separate the best revenue opportunities from the time wasters. Fantastic. Would you like us to pay you more for that? Yes, but I can also write a new email sequence and work with your team to get it running ASAP. OMG, you're so amazing and smart and kind of hot. Blah, blah, blah. The reality is, scenario 2 is 10,000 times more likely if you become a one-person problem solver for business owners. And that is what becoming an e-marketer is all about. Immediately having answers ready for everything that comes your way. Imagine changing an entire business's fortunes in a single conversation, or increasing monthly revenue by 4,500% after introducing something they never would have thought of. I'm going to say, true story. Or even just being able to half the number of hours you work because there are 5 different businesses chomping at the bit to work with you and will pay you double what you used to charge. I don't know a single other role in marketing that can achieve this. I've only been able to do it myself because I stopped chasing a single magic bullet and instead embraced the power of knowing just enough about everything. Knowing just enough about everything. If this sounds like the path you want to take, let me show you how I got there. To become an e-marketer, you need a deep understanding of marketing strategy that very few people know how to achieve. Brackets make it feel like it's more separated from the sentence, therefore they make it seem like it's a different point. To become an e-marketer, you need a deep understanding of marketing strategy that very few people know how to achieve, because nobody will work with you if you can't actually make them more money. And to command the highest rates and the most flexible hours, you need to be seen as the top marketing authority by your clients. There you go. Because nobody will give you a chance if you don't seem certain about things. Skills. That means you need 2 things, competence and confidence, which is exactly why we've designed the EMP the way we have. Everything you get inside the Everything Marketer Mastering Plan. Now, here comes the easy bit, but also the slightly annoying bit, because we have to go through everything that we already offer in there. Then I have to consider putting all the stuff that we're going to be adding into there, which are 5 new masterclasses, and I need to write bullets for those. But let's start with the easy stuff. What happens if we copy this? There we go. Missing piece of the puzzle, we might show you the work. Sean actually reveals the most important concept you need to know for building strategies from scratch. See, not going to rewrite a bunch of bullets. I wanted to have a section at the bottom which was like, plus the free live streams coming up. I'll give the title. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Just because I also don't want to lie. I can't really do bullets. Like, I can't really lie. I don't want to like say like, it's going to contain this and it's going to contain this, because the live streams haven't happened yet, so I don't know if they're going to. Coming soon. Will be added after August 20. Full masterclass on creative brand strategy. Rod works with one of the biggest advertising companies in United States. He's led campaigns for Nike, international. It pains me to say this, but I'm going to have to write soccer, because I know that most of our audience are Americans. God, that's fucking horrible. He's led campaigns for Nike, international soccer teams, and even been mentored by creative legends. Do I name drop Jared? I won't, just in case he doesn't want to be name dropped on our sales page. And he wants to show you what makes a good brand, so you have all the basics covered. And then we'll do another one, which is going to be Sean's one. Money, do this first, coming soon, also getting more for less is every marketer's dream. Fact is, earning more money for clients without increasing budget usually leads to earning more money for yourself. So Sean is here to walk you through one of the simplest ways to do just that. Becoming the everything marketer. Supplementary walkthrough for how to raise your rates and set your own rules. There we go, something like that. As a direct companion guide to the whole e-marketer master plan, Alex will go step by step through the resources in this course and explain how best to apply them. More than that, we'll give you an in-depth view to achieve levels of confidence you never knew you had. So you can hit the goal with the heights. I'll do. Okay. So that's coming soon. Then we also have the cross-pollination and we have the 11-star offers class, which I could do bullets for because they are done. Whether I have the mental wherewithal to write bullets for that right now, I'm not sure. I will certainly put it here and then I may do it as a placeholder and then I might come back to it. 11-star offers. How to create compelling offers that make people buy. I think that's what it's called. It's something like that. Probably has a slightly better name than that. The core to all marketing strategies. At the core of every marketing strategy is an offer. The better your offer, the better everything else. It's crucial to get it right. It's crucial to get it right. So which is why Sean has created a behemoth of a masterclass to show you everything, to reveal everything you need to know, and then some, because it is gargantuan. And then we should put includes additional cheat sheets and material, which we still need to make, but we will make them at some point. So I need to add, what do I need to add? What do I need to add? I need to add my cross-pollination one. Cross-pollination. How to steal from other niches to fuel your own success. Finding the best ideas is hard. That's why Alex doesn't rely on blind luck. Instead, he's developed a method for making sure he never runs out. Now, and it's probably way more simple than you think, but still insanely effective. Okay, first, say use this to stay 2 steps ahead of everyone else. Cool. Plus free bonuses when you sign up. When you buy now. When you buy now. All right. There we go. That's effectively the offer section broken down. We have call out to the reader and present the one idea. We've leveraged my authority and spoken about like the recap of why copy that is good. We've backed up the idea with logic and why it works. We've spelled out our not statements. We've revealed what the offer is. We've talked about why the product in itself is good, and we've broken down the modules. This I'm getting rid of because it's too confusing, and I've kind of mixed it into here. So next we need to talk about the testimonials. And then we need to do a final push with urgency. So what I like doing, and I do this with any offers I'm doing for info, which has tended to just be copied out. I've worked for a few coaches before, but I always like kind of doing a kind of not, I don't know if you call this a summary, but like a last kind of spiel about like why this is great. Then I'll do a summary, reveal the price, then I'll do testimonials. So just like we have here, this is effectively what I do. The EMP is culmination of 40 years experience, so you can finally charge the rates you've always wanted to. 40 experience, so you can finally charge the rates and command the respect. That might be a bit too cheesy. Personal note. Right, I want to throw this in to be personal, and this is coming from the heart, and this is totally true. 9 years ago, I never would have believed I could charge 33 hours for a single project. And work on it from my home office. On the one hand, I was thrilled with that gig. But on the other hand, I was incredibly annoyed. It had taken me so long to realize I could justify those rates. I was stuck in the trap of copywriting for years, assuming I would make more and more just through words alone. Unfortunately, the real world doesn't work like that. And business owners just couldn't see the value in copywriting on its own. And so often, lots of business owners just couldn't see the value in copywriting on its own. That all changed when I accidentally said yes to, and this is true, to a funnel building opportunity. One small landing page and Facebook ad. No, it wasn't Facebook ad, Google ad. One small Google ad campaign, landing page, and it opened my eyes to the power of knowing more things about marketing. That was years ago now, but I'm still so grateful. I decided to step out of my comfort zone and take something new on board. Since then, I've learned the best ways to master marketing and how to make the most money from it. So I'm even more thrilled I now get to share it. If you know me, you know I'm not one to make promises. Marketing is always a game of chance. After all, but the concept of becoming the concept of an every marketer, everything marketer, is so close to my heart and on which I pin so much success. I'm more than happy to say I'm supremely confident to say I believe becoming an e-marketer is the best thing you could possibly do for your career. 9 years ago, I never would have believed I could charge $33,000 for a single project and work on it from my home office. On the one hand, I was thrilled when I landed that gig, but on the other hand, I was incredibly annoyed it had taken me so long to realize I could justify those rates. I was stuck in the trap of copywriting for years, assuming I would make more and more just through words alone. Unfortunately, the real world doesn't work like that, and so often business owners just couldn't see the value in copywriting on its own. That all changed when I accidentally said yes to a funnel building opportunity. One small Google Ads campaign and landing page One small Google Ads campaign and landing page later, and my eyes were open to the power of knowing more things about marketing. My eyes were open to the power of knowing more things about marketing. That was years ago now, but I'm still so grateful I decided to step out my comfort zone and take something new on board. Since then, I've learned the best ways to master marketing and how to make the most money from it, so I'm even more thrilled I now get to share it. If you know me, you know I'm not one to make promises. Marketing is always a game of chance after all, but the concept of an everything marketer is so close to my heart and on which I pin so much success that I'm supremely confident to say I believe becoming a marketer is the best thing you could possibly do for your career. Right now, the E marketer master plan is just $199. But in less than 3 weeks, it will go up to, well, it will jump up to $300. And then I'll go through and pepper some CTAs as well through this, like when I'm done. Why? Because we're adding a metric. Oh, no, I won't say that. I'm not gonna. I don't want to keep swearing. We're adding a ton of new stuff, including. Well, what will it be? Oh, I mean, God, it'll be at least 5+ hours worth. I mean, I'll put 5+ now because it will be at least that. But like, I think it's gonna be way more. It'll be 5+ hours worth of. In-depth video content and walkthroughs. We simply can't justify keeping the price so low, and so much effort has gone into making it. But that's exactly why we're issuing everyone, or issuing you with this 2-week warning, and that time frame may be even shorter now, depending on when you're reading this. On August 20th, 2024, this offer will end. The price will go up by, what is it, 100%? 199 times 2 is 398. So yeah. We'll go up by 100%. Or the price will double. What sounds better? I feel like double sounds better. Easy to understand. We'll show you the off wind, and the price will double. You need to save yourself $200. Buy it now. Okay, plus few bonuses, and then we also want to say, oh, and one more thing. If you buy, hang on, EMP now, you'll also get lifetime access, which means you'll also automatically get all future content we add without having to pay a penny more. Volume in out, you get lifetime access, which means you also have future content we add and pay. $0. I just wanted to have that on there. It's good to have a number and the dollar sign because it's going to draw their attention and they're going to see $0 and then they're going to read that and be like, oh, that's really good. Okay, so then we just want the testimonials really. Big old testy section, which is what we just have, and then a final push with an urgency CTA. Quick summary of what you get. Let's copy this. Okay. Here's a quick summary of what you get. This, and I'm going to use the word ultimate as a homage to the UGMS. This is the ultimate solution if you're looking for a realistic way to command higher pay and set your own hours as a marketer. There's no single solution off to earning good money. No single skill that you can 100% rely on. Time and time again, the key to true success in this career, is the ability to know just enough about everything so you can be the best marketer in the room. Becoming everything marketer is the most reliable way to achieve my experience. Total control of your career, ability to learn. To gain everything you need to get started. Just click the button below and join us on the inside. Button, it's just not like buy now. Well, no, we've done. We want to become let's say you want to. Yes. Remember, I'll say important. Remember, the $199 price will only be available until August 20th, 2024. After this, the price $399. Please buy now to avoid the cutoff. And then PS, and then that's going to be this. So let's sit down and read this together. For working copywriters and marketers who want to break their earning ceiling and achieve real freedom, which we could probably cut or change, but anyway, allow me to reveal the truth that most people will never see. E-marketing, how I actually got rich and earned time freedom without listening to the lies peddled by get-rich-quick gurus. Revealed below, CopyThat's only course on how to achieve your full potential as a marketer, plus a limited 3-week discount to save $200 before we raise the price. I'm Myatt, and I've personally earned millions of dollars from marketing, and it's all because I figured out how to become an e-marketer. More on that in just a minute. So it's really frustrating when I see well-meaning copywriters and marketers who are stuck at the same pay grade, at the same hours, and in the same position, not knowing how to progress, especially when there is a solution. In fact, I and the whole CopyThat crew have all benefited from that solution. In our 40-plus combined years of marketing experience, understanding how to break through that ceiling has granted us some amazing opportunities. Working for brands like Unilever, Nike, and Agora Financial, earning tens of thousands for single projects, launching and selling our own businesses, and generally being able to decide our own fate. But if you're scratching your head wondering why you haven't reached that place yet, don't worry, it isn't your fault. You've probably been stifled by choice paralysis. Which path is the right one to go down? Let's add. After all, hundreds of different marketing gurus all promise the way to riches and happiness lies in a specific niche, like sales copywriting, SEO copywriting, affiliate marketing, conversion optimization, dropshipping consulting, or any other line of work you can think of. But this way of thinking simply doesn't make sense. Seriously, think about how this... maybe I should say, but this simply doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's fine. Seriously, think about this logically for a second. To earn more money and set your own hours, you need to become in demand to the people who have money to spend, i.e. business owners and decision makers. But the truth is, business owners and decision makers just want a person who can fix all their marketing problems in one go. They don't care about your job title. Believe me, they don't know the difference between a conversion copywriter and an ROI-focused SEO marketer. They don't care what method you use. They don't have time to analyze the problems themselves. They just want shit fixed. I've worked with 104 plus business owners, and they all want the same thing. Someone who is all results, no BS, and just calls themselves a marketer. Gurus may like to push the idea of a specific niche because it makes it easier to sell courses, but the reality is business owners want the full package with no fluff. And that's why I want to share the power of e-marketing with you. Imagine changing an entire business's fortunes in a single conversation, or increasing monthly revenue by 4,500% after introducing something they never would have thought of. True story. Or even just being able to half the number of hours you work because there are 5 different businesses chomping at the bit to work with you and will pay you double what you used to charge. In the 9 years I've been doing marketing, I picked up pretty much everything there is to know about how to get good results. In other words, how to be a marketer that business owners are happy to pay thousands to. So with the help of the rest of the CopyThat crew, we've packaged everything we know about creating real value for businesses into one place. Before I share it with you, I want to make a few things clear. This is not for beginners. You should be someone who already works in marketing, copywriting, or a similar field. This is not for anyone who can't afford an investment in themselves. The information we have to share is extremely valuable and not cheap. And crucially, this is not for people who aren't sure about their next steps. Only continue if you know you want to be successful in marketing. Okay, here it is. The E-Marketer Master Plan, EMP, a full guide on how to earn the highest rates and set your own hours by becoming the best marketer in the room. In simple terms, the EMP contains everything that I personally use to go from $6,400 per month to $25,000 per month, all through the power of what I call everything marketing. Because it's true, there is no single magic bullet to start earning loads more money. Instead, the only thing that I know can work is picking up a varied collection of marketing skills, then using them to get results for the best clients. It doesn't sound too sexy when I put it like that, but it's the truth. Making a lot of money and having the freedom to control your own time is 100% possible, and it comes down to knowing the right stuff. But the best thing, you don't need to spend hundreds of hours becoming the greatest at everything. You just need to get good enough at the right selection of things. Because when you multiply them all together, you end up becoming the best marketer in the room. And that is what business owners are looking for. For example, let's picture 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, big money client. We need to increase profits. You, as a conversion copywriter. Okay, what do you want me to write? Well, what can you write that will increase profits? I guess I could write a sales email. Our email revenue has dropped every time we've sent a campaign recently. Sorry, but I don't think we can justify a copywriter in the budget anymore. That kind of sucks, right? Well, compare that to big money client. We need to increase profits. You, as an everything marketer. Great, I was thinking the same thing. We need to look at the email list, as that will be the quickest way to see results. Okay, we've actually seen revenue dropping from emails recently. Interesting, how have you segmented your email list? What? I don't think we ever have. Okay, I'll need to jump on that first thing so we can separate the best revenue opportunities from the time wasters. Fantastic. Would you like us to pay you more for that? Yes, but I can also write a new email sequence and work with your team to get it running ASAP. The reality is, scenario 2 is 10,000 times more likely if you become a one-person problem solver for business owners. And that is what becoming an e-marketer is all about. Immediately having answers ready for everything that comes your way. I don't know a single other role in marketing that can achieve this. I've only been able to do this myself because I stopped chasing a single magic bullet and instead embraced the power of knowing just enough about everything. If this sounds like the path you want to take, let me show you how I got there. There are 2 things you need to know. 1, to become an e-marketer, you need a deep understanding of marketing strategy that very few people know how to achieve, because nobody will work with you if you can't actually make them more money. 2, to command the highest rates and the most flexible hours, you need to be seen as the top marketing authority by your clients, because nobody will give you a chance if you don't seem certain about your own skills. That means you need 2 things, competence and confidence, which is exactly why we've designed the EMP the way we have. Here's everything you get inside the e-marketer master plan. To achieve competence, the missing piece of the puzzle, building marketing strategies that work. Join Alex as he reveals the most important concept you need to know for building strategies from scratch. It's universally applicable, and once you know it, you will never look at marketing the same way again. From macro strategy to the 3 goals of marketing, this gives you more knowledge of marketing strategy than 95% of copywriters marketers in just 2 hours. Discover why Alex has never been satisfied with any marketing course online until now, why most marketers want you to fail by making you believe marketing is harder than it really is, when products die by marketing strategy overgrowth and how to revive them, your 3 North Stars, how to orient your planning around 3 main profit-driving goals, why the best marketers I know call this masterclass better than 2 years worth of marketing school, macro versus micro strategy planning, use this 2-tier approach to drive all your campaigns, the 3-step precursor to setting a successful macro marketing strategy, MMAP, Alex's markers for identifying what your client really needs, the OOA grid, Alex's stupid simple structure for setting a micro marketing strategy. Funnel hacking, how to ethically spy on your competition and find ideas. Sean and Lindsey will take you through the simplest way to access a limitless supply of good marketing ideas. Our step-by-step funnel hacking guide means you'll never be lost for where to start. If you want to shortcut your way to confidence, then this is the masterclass for you. Discover what your copy clients really want from you, the truth behind why businesses say they want copy when they really secretly want a funnel. Cash now or cash later, depending on the business, one might be more profitable. Once you understand the 2 major funnel types, plus where they fail and where they succeed, you'll know which to deploy. Warning, you have a narrow time frame to market to engage customer. Here's how. How to create your own treasure map by effectively using upsells, downsell, cross-sells, and more to ramp up cart values. Is that right? I don't know. Peek over Sean's shoulder as he shares 2 funnels he created, plus why one pulled more money. The optimal funnel exit, when to let someone out of the funnel, when it's time to add something to your funnel and how to do it profitably. How to sneak into your competitors' funnels even when they don't want you there. How to distinguish between front and back of funnel copy. The nice guy funnel versus the hey baby, want to get in my funnel, which one gets more action. You'll know by the end of this masterclass. Good funnels need 18 types of copy. Here's how to see examples of all of them. Everything you need to know about marketing metrics. 34 pages of nothing but facts. This could be the difference between you feeling ultra confident in your next pitch call and having no idea what to say. Enjoy your new guide on almost everything you need to know about KPIs, metrics, and marketing acronyms. Why vibes-based marketing doesn't work and why it won't make you rich. 2 years to learn a new language. Learn marketing speak in 34 pages. 25 terms plus how to use, interpret, and calculate each and every one. Discover the 1 metric that represents the business's report card for its advertising campaigns. How to use the fruit tree metric to determine your marketing budget. Why the lemonade stand metric is best for monitoring your front-end ed campaigns. Fill in the gaps, the things they don't teach you at marketing school. Despite how super important the theory of marketing strategy is, there are a few lessons you just don't understand until you've seen them firsthand. So we want to give you a head start. These mini lessons will share some insanely valuable insights that often get overlooked. The passive-active marketing dynamic. Strategy works best when one hand shakes the other. How to turn the sleepiest, most passive components of your marketing into active moneymakers. The anvil and the hammer, the ideal marketing ecosystem for virtually any product promotion. What most marketers get wrong about the front end and the back end. 5 black holes in your marketing strategy and how to fix them. 11-star offers, how to create compelling offers that make people buy. At the core of every marketing strategy is an offer. The better your offer, the better everything else. It's crucial to get it right, which is why Sean has created a behemoth of a masterclass to reveal everything you need to know and then some. Includes additional cheat sheets and material. Full masterclass on creative brand strategy. Rod works with one of the biggest advertising companies in the United States. He's led campaigns for Nike, international soccer teams, and even been mentored by creative legends. And he wants to show you what makes a good brand so you have all the bases covered. Make more money, do less work. 16 ways to increase cart value. Getting more for less is every marketer's dream. The fact is, earning more money for clients without increasing the budget usually leads to earning more money for yourself. So Sean is here to walk you through one of the simplest ways to do just that. Cross-pollination, how to steal from other niches to fuel your own success. Finding the best ideas is hard. That's why Alex doesn't rely on blind luck. Instead, he's developed a method for making sure he never runs out. And it's probably way more simple than you think, but it's still insanely effective. Use this to stay 2 steps ahead of everyone else. With more to come. To achieve confidence. Up your income, the best marketing skills for increasing your earning power. These 5 marketing skills were directly responsible for Alex going from $6,500 per month to $25,000 per month without working any more hours. It's crazy what people will pay when you're the only one who knows about a few fundamentals. Fair to say that Alex is pretty excited about sharing these with more people. FSEAOBGA. These are the 4 marketing skills that are most worth knowing about according to someone who used them to earn his first 5-figure month. Discover how suggesting just one reframe of what a business sells can lead to 10x results, literally. Should I be a funnel builder? Yes, but not in the way you think. Check out slide 2 to see what we mean. A 19K project to 21 years old? That's the power of marketing skills, baby. But please don't waste time on the fluff Alex warns you against at the end of the masterclass. Finally understand why you don't need to know coding or design to be a good marketer, or SEO for that matter. By the way, make sure you combine this masterclass with the advice in video mini lessons for the best results. Becoming the Everything Marketer, a supplementary walkthrough for how to raise your rates and set your own rules. As a direct companion guide to the whole eMarketer master plan, Alex will go step by step through the resources in this course and explain how best to apply them. More than that, he'll give you an in-depth view on how to achieve levels of confidence you never knew you had so you can hit the heights you had your eyes set on. With more to come. The EMP is the culmination of 40 years experience so you can finally charge the rate and work the hours you want. A personal note from Alex. 9 years ago, I never would have believed I could charge $33,000 for a single project and work on it from my home office. On the one hand, I was thrilled that when I landed that gig, but on the other hand, I was incredibly annoyed it had taken me so long to realize I could justify those rates. I was stuck in the trap of copywriting for years, assuming I would make more and more just through words alone. Unfortunately, the real world doesn't work like that, and so often business owners just couldn't see the value in copywriting on its own. That all changed when I accidentally said yes to a funnel building opportunity. One small Google Ads campaign and landing page later, and my eyes were open to the power of knowing more things about marketing. That was years ago now, but I'm still so grateful I decided to step out of my comfort zone and take something new on board. Since then, I've learned the best ways to master marketing and how to make the most money from it, so I'm even more thrilled I now get to share it. If you know me, you know I'm not one to make promises. Marketing is always a game of chance after all. But the concept of an everything marketer is so close to my heart and on which I pin so much success that I'm supremely confident to say I believe becoming an e-marketer is the best thing you could possibly do for your career. Right now, the e-marketer master plan is just $199, but in less than 3 weeks, it will jump up to $399. Why? Because we're adding a ton of new stuff, including 5+ hours worth of in-depth 5+ hours of in-depth video content and walkthroughs. We simply can't justify keeping the price so low when so much effort has gone into making them. But that's exactly why we're issuing you with this 3-week warning. And that time frame may be even shorter now depending on when you're reading this. On August 20th, 2024, this offer will end and the price will double. So if you want to save yourself $200, buy it now. Plus, free bonuses when you buy now. Free bonus number 1, Rod's Brand Marketing Strategy Masterclass. Our resident brand man, Rod, wants to take you inside and show you how strategy works the highest levels of the brand advertising world. From his experience working with both multi-billion companies, multi-billion-dollar companies, and grassroots political campaigns, he'll help you answer, how do you go about building a strategy that goes beyond sales metrics? Get a behind-the-scenes look at the brand world. Free bonus number 2, A/B testing. What is it exactly? Sean and Alex have tested more marketing emails than 99.99% of people on Earth, so they know a thing or two about split testing marketing assets. From landing pages to button color, listen to them ramble about what is and isn't worth optimizing for your clients. Real examples and a few extra tips, plus unhinged rants about the kinds of tests that are stupid and not worth doing. Free bonus number 3, Sean's acquisition break-even calculator. Is your marketing plan doomed to fail? Simply enter your budget, metrics, and results, and Sean's magic spreadsheet will show you what you need to change to stay on track. Direct access. Make a copy. Includes all formulas. Sean even recorded a video showing you how to use it to strategize your next campaign. Oh, and one more thing. If you buy the EMP now, you'll get lifetime access, which means you'll also automatically get all future content we add for exactly $0. You won't have to pay a penny more. Testimonials. Okay, here's a quick summary of what you get. Achieve competence in all things marketing, and then there's all the modules. Master confidence and self-belief to complete the package. Modules, plus free bonuses. This is the ultimate solution if you're looking for a realistic way to command higher pay and set your own hours as a marketer. There's no single path to earning good money and no single skill that you can 100% rely on. Time and time again, the key to true success in this career is the ability to know just enough about everything so you can be the best marketer in the room. In our experience, becoming an everything marketer is the most reliable way to achieve total control of your career and your ability to earn money. To get started, just click the button below and join us on the inside. P.S. Important. Remember the $199 price. $199 price will only be available until August 20th, 2024. After this, the price will go up to $399. Please buy now to avoid the cutoff point. If you're a member of the Patreon, you can also find an additional discount on a recent Patreon post. PPS, personal note from the CT team. I copy that. It's very important to us. You only invest in our products if you can afford it. We're not here to squeeze money out of people who just want to make a living. So before you purchase any of our products, please make sure you are in a position to do so. We keep as much of our content free as we can, and we always price products fairly, but regardless of low prices, only buy informational products if you can afford the investment. All right, there we go. First draft. And to be honest, as I was going through, there wasn't too much where I was like, oh, this is not good. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope to see you again very soon. Goodbye.